This is a monster.
Feels like a good one.
I got a big bite, man.
You got one more leap in you, don't you? Yeah.
We might need a bigger net, Bo.
Woo! Look at that!
How's that for a smallmouth?
Now that's what we're talking about.
What a beautiful redfish.
Side imaging, that's the way to do it.
Hey, the key to catching fish is you got to find them before you can catch them. And my Hummingbird with side imaging technology helps me do just that.
Hi, I'm Bo Riles here with legendary angler Al Linder, and we're about to find out how a walleye master tracks his quarry. Now, Al, the old saying is, to find and catch fish, you have to learn to think like a fish, but it's really more about seasonal migrational patterns, isn't it?
Pretty much so, Bo. All fish make somewhat predictable seasonal movements. And after they finish spawning, everything they do is geared around one thing and one thing only. That's food. That's why those fish are on that structure.
So the Hummingbird side imaging is going to help you see the bottom of the lake and see where those fish are migrating to, right?
It shows you all those little high percentage spots. It shows you like the inside of a dip inside the weed line here. It shows on the left-hand side here a little pile of boulders. The best way I could describe what side imaging would do, just imagine a 100-foot area around the boat and suck all the water out of here. And look at the drop-off with some scattered boulders down the ledge on this side. Look at a pile of rocks removed off to the side over here.
I see them right there.
I mean, like that. I mean, it shows you the entire bottom. It's the real world. This is exactly what the bottom looks like. I thought I knew this lake. I thought I knew what these structures look like. I learned so much when I started using the side imaging unit. It opened my eyes up to all the stuff that I was actually missing. And I fished this lake for 35 years, man. Oh, man. Whoa. Whoa, look at it. Look at the size of that smallmouth, man. I knew there were some big ones on here, but I didn't expect to catch one quite this big. You got one more leap in you, don't you? Yeah. How's that for a smallmouth? Scanning the side of this rock reef with my side imaging unit, I knew where the spot on the spot was. That little strip of giant boulders that serves as a magnet to big fish like this. It's such a big advantage. You learn how to interpret your side imaging unit and find these little key little hotspot areas. It's going to skyrocket your catch ratio on big fish.
There's a lot of lakes that I fish that can be 100 miles long by a couple miles wide or even wider than that. So that's a lot of miles to have to cover during pre-fish. Side imaging is a critical technology that allows me to look out to the sides and cover a lot more water with picture-like detail. I'm able to find rock piles, I'm able to find timber, weeds, everything that is needed to catch more fish. It's a tremendous competitive advantage when I'm out there fishing.
Side imaging opens up a whole new world in terms of understanding what's happening underneath the water in a real picture that doesn't take any interpretation by me, an actual real picture where I can see where it goes from rocks to sand, or I can see a bridge piling down there, or some old flooded timber, or a weed line. I had a tournament on a reservoir with a bunch of flooded timber at one point, and I was trolling crankbaits, but I didn't want to troll crankbaits right in the trees. I wanted to be near the trees. With side imaging, I was able to position my boat so that I could see the trees on one side of the side image screen and not on the other, so I was trolling right down the edge of that old forest, catching fish without, losing hundreds of dollars of crankbaits in the process.
Let's talk about this time of the year, fall. Now, obviously, it's beautiful out here, but how is Hummingbird side imaging going to help us for this particular season?
Well, first of all, it's my favorite time of the year to catch big walleyes.
Awesome.
It's great. And spots like this are often overlooked by a lot of anglers. See these hard bottom areas that they mark real bright light like this. And that darker area there is the transition from hard to soft bottom, the silty bottom. And in these deep water areas in fall, a lot of walleyes key on this type of environment. Now look at that rock. Yep. Now you can see how it looks on the side imaging unit how it
incredible.
marks that rock right there.
And again, that's where the bait fish are hanging out, so consequently, that's where the walleye are going.
Absolutely, and it's kind of like a secret spot for walleyes in a lot of lakes. I mean, this really shows it distinctly. See that boulder with that little shadow, that little finger shadow? That's a big rock.
That makes it larger.
That's a big rock that's throwing the shadow.
That is impressive.
That's what that is.
I can't believe it.
See that little ridge of rocks there?
Right.
Yeah. I freeze the screen.
You freeze it.
I take my cursor. I hit my mark. I locked in
You
my
locked in.
waypoint.
Waypoint's there.
I exit out, and we keep going
Keep
down.
going, and later you
we
say,
come
let's-
back in an hour and a half from now and get on those three or four boulders.
And we
sitting
fish
right there and sitting right
We
on.
go. That's
And we're
amazing.
playing. And I mean, we never stop
We
going.
never
Just keep
stop.
going.
And I have never seen anything that would give me a perspective out to the right or left of the boat. I'm always with sonars going straight down.
This unit does anything anybody needs, plus a whole lot more.
Now let me ask one question: is a techno nerd like myself can I read the manual and use it?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sold.
You know what's also blowing me away is it's so bright out here, and look at the brilliant colors, and look at the definition, and the numbers are so easy to read.
The older units, you'd have never been able to see that kind of detail. It's so clear, so crisp. It's just amazing.
It's easy to use?
I'm not a techie kind of guy.
Me neither.
Believe me, I'm not a
Me
techie
neither.
kind of guy. The menu is so simple. I can navigate through this thing so quick. It sounds like there's so much stuff in here, but the beauty is it's easy. It's easy to use.
The great thing about the Hummingbird is that when I see things on my downlooking sonar, I can tell you whether I'm looking at bait fish or whether I'm looking at predators. I can tell you through side imaging whether there's fish in the area. I can tell you through my chart plotter where my position on Earth was. I can see the waypoint where I just caught my last fish, and I can tell you where I need to go to get back to it. This thing really is hot.
Oh, man! This is a monster! Now that I've experienced the side imaging technology from Hummingbird, there's absolutely no way I can even go back to only looking straight downwards. God, I can't believe it. I would have missed that rock pile if I hadn't been seeing it with my side imaging. Now this is a nice fish. Oh, man. I'm shaking. Look at that fish! Oh, yes! Woo! Man, look at that! Oh, look at him! Now that's what we're talking about! Side imaging, that's the way to do it! Oh, man!
Bo, it feels like a good one.
All right.
This fish came off of those couple of boulders that we GPS'd on that flat earlier when
That's
we came
right.
around the corner of it, and I said we're going to go back just a little bit further and
There
then
you
come
go.
back and fish this spot. I mean, it's an amazing technology that you could do that. And I mean, the proof is in the pudding. This
That's
is a
right.
big fish. I'm going to need a net, man.
All right.
Well,
Get down there. There he is.
get her, man. Get her.
Oh,
get her.
yeah.
Okay.
Woo-hoo. Look at that.
Told
Yeah,
ya.
baby.
I told you.
Yeah.
This, by anybody's
Look at that.
standards,
Look at that. Wow.
is a big walleye. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
That's a trophy walleye to most anglers on most bodies of water. And the key, we found it with the Hummingbird side imaging unit, locked right in on it, and that's where the big boys live, baby.